All right, Todd, this picture should look familiar to everybody. If you went through Scrum in 7 minutes, which was earlier in the course, you've seen this flyby. We've done a real quick overview. Now it's time to zero in on the specific roles or accountabilities, the artifacts, and the events. And we want to make sure you got a good understanding of each. So we're going to start with product owners. So Todd, let's dive in.
Yeah, let's zero down in here. Well, as you said, dive. I guess it kind of looked like we dove there, right? And so the product owner, this is the first statement that I think we put about the product owner, Ryan, is that they're accountable for maximizing the value of the product resulting from the work of the Scrum team. Wow, there's a lot of information there in one statement, right? So this accountability, the product owner, to me, the big thing here is value, maximizing the value of the product, right? And there's a lot of stuff that a product owner needs and should be thinking about in order to do that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, value is going to be the highest consideration of a product owner, right? The value of the work being performed by the entire Scrum team or resulting from the work of the Scrum team is going to be this first and foremost. We always talk about being value driven. Well, guess what? The product owner accountability is all about ensuring that we are actually keeping value at the forefront of the majority of our considerations and conversations.
Yeah, and in terms of value, I think one of the things that we talk about from a value perspective is that they are understanding what the customer needs are, and they communicate that to the Scrum team, right? So they're understanding customer needs, and they communicate those customer needs to the Scrum team. The product owner is thinking through the lens of the customer, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just putting this idea of value next to the product owner. Super important reminder. I think another way that the product owner helps us keep focus on value, it's really through developing and communicating good product goals.
Yeah.
Right? What are the next handful of sprints really trying to achieve? What is the big outcome we're after? It gives the developers, the entire Scrum team, and even the stakeholders that North Star, that picture. Like, why are we actually doing these sprints? What are we trying to build up to? And it creates that alignment along the way.
Yeah, I think in building upon that, right? So by the way, we'll get to product goal and product backlog. We have sections for those. So more on that to come. But I'm going to kind of build on that because product goals are stored in the product backlog. And a product owner manages and orders the product backlog, right? We'll get to a little bit into what the term order means when we talk about the product backlog. But in essence, the product backlog is where all requirements are stored on a product that you're building with Scrum. So the product owner manages that, they order that, they take care of that. It's really part of their accountability to make sure that that's maintained, although they may delegate it if they need.
Well, and part of that, that delegation is great, right? So developers and even stakeholders can add to the product backlog depending on the situation and the context. A lot of people can be collaboratively working on that product backlog, but ultimately the product owner ensures that the product backlog is transparent and understood, right? If we do not have a transparent and well understood product backlog, a lot of inspections and adaptations are going to be flawed. Developers won't understand what is the intention behind the product backlog items and the value that we're trying to achieve. And a lot of things go sideways. So that idea of ensuring that the product backlog is transparent, meaning well understood, absolutely essential, Todd.
Yeah, 100%. And this sounds like a lot of responsibility and accountability, right, that a product owner has. And in order for them to be successful in it, they need to be empowered to get the job done, right? They need to be empowered by the organization to be this decision maker. There's a lot of decisions that need to be made here, right? And the reason why the product owner is such a powerful concept is that you have a single person making those decisions, right? You have a single person making those decisions.
Yeah, let's make sure we get that up there and really highlight this is one person, right? Not a committee. And a lot of people will say, well, wait a minute, how could one person possibly do the job? Well, look, people can help, but we ultimately have one person who is fully empowered to make every decision needed about the product, whether it's the product backlog related, whether it's budget related, whether it's directionally related, and they can do that in the moment. They're empowered to do their job. It's a single person, not a committee. They don't have to wait for permission. Look, we're trying to use Scrum to be opportunistic. If the product owner has to get permission from 10 other people, to make a decision about the product, we're waiting.
Mhm.
You don't have time to wait. We need to get value out into the world sooner.
Yeah, and you know what this spells to me? I'm going to throw an ad hoc sticky note down here. You're probably going to hear me type, is that the product owner is an agile product manager, right? There's a lot of tools that a product owner needs to have in their tool belt, depending on the context of the situation, to understand and enable all of this value to happen, right? That could be road mapping. That could be understanding how to own and operate a budget, because really, if you're empowered to get your job done, you own the budget, right? There's a lot of different tools and techniques that product management needs to do, understanding customer satisfaction gaps, evidence-based management, right? This product owner is the agile product manager of your Scrum team.
Yeah, I went ahead and added one of your notes there, Todd. Owns the budget,
Mhm.
right? And I think a good thing to point out here as well that you brought up is related to value. So the product owner validates that value actually occurred, and they use great frameworks like EBM to do so.
Yeah. Love it.
You know, I think the last thing I want to highlight here, if you were to ask me, what is the product owner actually centered on, aside from value? It's the what and the why of the product.
Yeah, I like that.
Right? I think it's really important to keep that grounded. They're determining what could possibly be built to meet a need in the marketplace, and they're establishing the why to give the teams, to give the Scrum team, especially, and stakeholders, that clear view, that clear vision of what we're trying to achieve. They do that through product goals. They do that through a well-understood product backlog, and they need the empowerment in order to get there.
I like that ad because they communicate that what and the why, not only to stakeholders and customers, right, but to the rest of the Scrum team.
Love it. All right, everybody, that is the product owner. Can't wait to see your questions and comments in the community section of the course. We're going to keep going, and we'll see you back here with the Scrum Master.